All right. Here we go. It's like we are up and running. Yeah. Get this round of office hours kicked off. First things first, I definitely want to watch some of the raid testing, catch up a little bit. Let's see. Which boss is this? Magmarax. Why don't we take a look at the dungeon journal first? Because I feel like I never do a good enough job of actually reading through all the stuff. And anybody showing up, feel free to ask whatever questions or anything mage related. I'm kind of in like PTR research mode right now, trying to get caught up since 10.7 coming out means, or 10.0.7 coming out means that the tier is probably right around the corner. Um, 2 seconds. So that seems like an enrage. How far into the raid is he? Decently far. So drop pools at the edge. Oh, it's so mechanic. That's interesting. So you have to soak it, but if the boss gets in it. Now I kind of want to see if there's a mechanic that forces the boss to get close to it, because unless the tanks are soaking the puddles, doesn't seem too dangerous. Okay, so they run out, drop puddles. What do the puddles do if they're not soaked? Oh, it just grows. That's what it is. Oh yeah, look at that. That is not an insignificant amount of growth. So that was kind of interesting. Look at how the pally goes in. It looks like Shield of Vengeance. Oh, they dropped another one on top of it. I was gonna say that's trying to figure out how the soaking shrank it, but they dropped another one. Let's see, how long do those stacks persist? Oh, 20 seconds. So that's kind of an interesting mechanic, actually. Now that I think about it, because basically over the fight, you're going to get more and more puddles. I wonder if you can soak them to where they go away entirely. Because if not, then you just have to, like, you have more stacks slowly over the fight. It's an enrage. It's kind of cool. It's a neat mechanic. Or at least it seems like it might be. Alright, let's take a look at whatever the next boss is. Neltharion. Divides the room. Interesting. Yeah, I'm just gonna watch it and see what happens. Because that's definitely not what I imagined based on the tooltip, but that looks so cool. That I just want to take a second to appreciate how cool that graphic looks. I don't know why. It just looks, I don't know. The red and the it looks good. I'm gonna go back to the beginning of the fight. I feel like those have got to be LOS too. Oh wait, how did that break? Rushing shadows. Is that what breaks it? Let's see. Yep. Cool, so it's bursting, essentially. Or it has a bursting-like component. Does that smash all of that? Oh, that's interesting. Calamitous Strike. Okay, so individual breakage or massive breakage from the tank. Does that keep growing? No, I think it is that big. Hey, how's it going, D-Shep? So I haven't actually played Frost enough to like have a specific preference on stats. One of the things that I like to do, if you have any higher haste gear in your bags, mainly rings, you can sim that comparatively with Top Gear and see if Top Gear tells you that like, a haste heavy ring over like your crit mastery ring or something is like a much higher upgrade or a much better item that can kind of give you an idea of what direction you want to go for with haste. Actually, on that, why don't I sim myself with a couple of rings, because I have yet to really get into the nitty gritty of my frost stats yet, but with the tier changes recently, it's about time to get into frost. So 12, I will say that 12 haste, so you said 27 crit. Yeah, 12 haste seems a little low. Outside of Icy Veins, I imagine the rotation bogs down quite a bit. Let's see if I can get Top Gear to give me kind of an idea. And my guess is that your Icy Veins uptime is probably lower than it should be. Just a general guess, but I assume the speed at which you can farm that back, like that low haste probably leads to like Blizzard feeling kind of slow or potentially. All right, let's see. There, it's not gonna work. Okay, so 5 bosses, 1 minute. I'm gonna have all these queued up. That's why I actually recommended to do the Top Gear sim, because it'll generally, I find that helps me make decisions on what I want to get rid of. Or you can do a stat weight sim, which is not generally the best way to do it, but I like to kind of get an idea of what stat it wants me to get rid of versus get more of, right? So I'm comparing what a haste verse ring versus crit mastery ring and a crit haste ring. Oh, I don't pay for raid bots, so I don't get that many iterations. We'll just go with that. Do I think they'll rework the arcane tier? My gut reaction, I mean, I know nothing of how or why Blizzard does anything, but my gut reaction is no. Because I feel like Arcane kind of had its time in the sun. Just comparatively over how Fire and Frost have been the main plays for years and years. So part of me feels like Blizzard's probably not going to do anything to like keep Arcane on top. It is a bummer. I even did a little bit of testing earlier to see if like maybe the damage buff from Surge would like carry through into the mini burn or something, but yeah, it's unfortunate. I will say though that I think Frost, the more I think about it, Frost is looking good. The uncapped flurry thing is just like in AoE in general, flurry was probably the thing I not like dislike the most, but like it's a single target, right? So it just feels bad to push. But I'm feeling like Frost is probably going to be the play, especially after the Fire 4-piece rework. I don't see Blizzard doing much. Oh, I miss having raid bots premium a little bit. Here, let's do... They don't even like you using stat weights, but whatever. I don't actually know if Frost needs to sim 5 target 1 minute. Well, actually, that makes more sense because of Blizzard. You need 2+ targets. Never mind. Fire is special like that. So, D Shep on the stats, usually there's like an X amount for, at least this is how it's been for Arcane primarily, and then like Frost in the past, was there's like X amount of haste or whatever I want to stack, and then beyond that I like try to stack certain stats as high as I can, usually crit because of Icy Propulsion. Okay, so what I can get from this, what I gather from this is, which it makes sense, it really doesn't want me to have verse. Right? That's like the main, which those stat priorities are listed on the Mage Hub, but yeah, the I think the fire damage profile like makes more sense competitively, but the tier set is tragic. I don't understand. I just don't understand how that made sense. Like 2 back-to-back Phoenix Flames, buffed Phoenix Flames uses when you kind of want to pool them for the mastery for like, yeah, I don't get it. Okay, so what we can gather from this on stats for Frost, at least this is the way that I've done things for a very long time. Whoops. Is I just need more crit. I need a lot more crit. And to be honest, I need to drop some haste and swap haste for crit. Right? So what I can do, and it's probably because I have this in my set. This is what I use for keys right now. So I'm super haste heavy on pull. And in a 1 minute sim, you know, 10 of the 60 seconds I had that haste buff. So that's probably why. But this is telling me that I can drop some haste and I need to get more crit. Probably because I'm well below the crit cap. Actually, what am I? So this right here, I would try really hard not to touch mastery, not to touch versatility, and I would try to get rid of some haste. So in my case, I would probably end up swapping gems out, right? And going with like crit mastery gems, or I don't know if you want Lariat to proc crit or mastery. I haven't put any thought into that because it's proccing mastery for both fire and arcane for raid right now. But yeah, does that kind of help you get an idea of how to evaluate? So I'm at 19% haste with a not a haste proc on my Lariat, haste proc from this. So it wants me to have less haste. Actually, let's do another. So the haste isn't variable because I am very curious. Let's do another stat weight. See if it still wants me to get rid of haste. Comparatively to other classes, I'm not entirely sure because I'm not all that plugged into how other classes are doing. Within Mage, I think Frost Mage is looking like a lot of fun. It's looking, based on the tier set, Fire is already fun, and Fire's poised to scale well, but the tier set kind of hamstrung Fire quite a bit. But Mage in general has been feeling real good so far this expansion, and the shift to Frost with Flurry cleaving is going to be pretty good, I think. Okay, so isn't that interesting? It spat back without the haste helm. It spat back that haste has an even lower value. So basically, I have too much haste. According to this, 20.4% haste is too much. Interesting. So it wants me to have more crit. I imagine a lot of that has to do with the crit cap. Yeah, so hopefully that gives you an idea of kind of how I address my stats. I think I know what happened. Is there a full screen somewhere? Oh, I think it froze. Hold on. Hey, we're back. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, we should be good. Yeah. Sorry about that. That was weird. It chose a really random spot to freeze. Maybe it's because I have 2 instances of WoW open at the moment, and my computer's not happy about that. I think I'll close the PTR for now. Yeah, I haven't even really addressed my frost stats yet because arcane and fire, I was able to kind of have similar stats ish, which worked well because I was playing arcane on Raz, and fire and keys. So I haven't really overhauled my stats yet, but yeah. So in your 27 crit, 12 haste. What's my mastery at? Mastery is probably the only thing I feel like you get rid of. Or verse. If you have, I don't know what your verse is, but verse is a pretty not great stat. All right, let's go back and check out the rest of this. See what we can learn. There's got to be another displacement mechanic at some point. Or not. What is that? Okay, where does that dude come from? I completely missed that. Ah, 1, 2, 3. Speed this up. Oh, that's funny. I think that's a Shadow Priest's thing. That's interesting. So I don't know if people can bait who gets the debuff or what, but yeah, so it makes me think this phase is a matter of clearing to the ads. Clearing a path through the walls to the ads. While dealing with all this shit. Interesting. Kind of like it. Like I said, I really like the graphics of the wall. I really can't explain why. Something about it I find very aesthetically pleasing. Be right back real quick. All right. Was there 2 days of raid testing this week? I know that there was supposedly scheduled. Oh. Oh, wait. Yeah, there should be. See if I can find it. It's probably not the best way to find it. Wait, what is this? Ah. Raid testing instability. That's fun. Did they only test 2 bosses this week? God, I hate being so busy. I'm usually doing the testing. Alright, looks like that is all for the... I think I'm gonna get on the PTR. And slap some dummies for a bit. Because I need to shake some cobwebs off. Oh wait, this isn't the PTR. Yeah. The big thing with Frost that I always like I have to shake cobwebs off on is in AoE, I feel like it's really easy to accidentally like cast Frostbolt in the career, like because I just don't play Frost enough, or when I do, it's in raid on single target primarily. So it always takes just a little bit for me to like shake some of those single target reflexes off. Oh, by the way, not a fan of the tier set look. I'm very confused as to why that made sense for Mage. Very confused. Now let's see how good the flurry damage gets. I mean, that's awesome. I'm shocked that that's uncapped. I'm very happy about it. And I find the fire one especially confusing. Because at least like the arcane one, I could see the argument being made that, okay, like during Lust or something, you can spend a bunch of mana and you get a really big damage buff, and you can like, you know, load that into a big burst window, but like what does Phoenix Flames, a Phoenix Flames buff really give you? I don't get it, Blizzard. I don't understand it. Yeah, I think it bums me out because this time last week I was like, yeah, fire's gonna be awesome, but that was on a completely misunderstood way of how hyperthermia interacted with SKB and pyroclasm. But yeah, Frost it seems like it's gonna be yeah, I don't know. Maybe they tried and failed. Part of me feels like this is very tinfoil hat, but like part of me thinks that they use tier to kind of funnel people into specs. A little bit. Because Arcane's damage has been very much within those, you know, they're 20-second long burst windows, but it's still like within those burst windows. So part of me feels like they kind of picked Frost, but just because it's the most blatantly like cool tier bonus. But and even though I'm a huge fan of Arcane and I love that puzzle, I will say I'm looking forward to a bit more of a mellow tier of Prague. Like, it just takes a lot of work to be really on top of Arcane, especially the way that it plays right now. Or maybe it's because I'm getting old and tired. Who knows? Yeah, I was very excited about fire. And I found out about the hyperthermia thing. And then I read what they changed it to. Interesting. It just leaves me with this just really profound confusion. That's all it is. So it's time to get good at Frost again. Or try to. I will say I'm happy that it's very straightforward, because I haven't really memorized the priorities or like really integrated Dragonflight Frost stuff quite yet. And because of freezing rain and everything the way it is, I love that it's just Blizzard on 2+. It's so simple. You don't Blizzard on single target. Cool. And I can see, I saw that they upped the brain freeze proc from Ice Lance from 8 to 10. Yeah, it's interesting the roller coaster that Fire's had, because Fire's usually Blizzard's favorite. But yeah, it's the worst, like any death. Like I don't know if you've played Raz, but like that phase 2, the shield windows in phase 2 as Arcane is so, until you get the muscle memory down to where you can just do it in your sleep, it's so stressful. Like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I appreciate that Blizzard seems like they're trying harder. So I'm happy with that. Quite happy with that. But I do think this Frost thing looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, you probably need to like shatter flurries now that I think about it. How much does it do? See, that's how hard. I mean, yeah. I just really see this accelerating. I just really see this accelerating in keys. Has a lot of potential, it seems. I do wonder like how the priority is going to end up. Like if you, I imagine you're going to want to keep an AoE, keep flurry at 0 charges. So if brain freeze procs, you don't lose literally anything. Yeah, that sounds right. I gotta spend time to get my weak auras loaded up and actually practice a bit. Because I am garbage at tracking anything without my weak auras. Frost is easier, but I'm still garbage at it. Oh, you know what I need to look up? I want to see if there's anything updated on the rings. I want to see if Mage Hub has anything. Nope. Oh, here we go. I don't want to look at that. I want to look at Frost. Oh, I found out about this. Is hilarious. This thing pulling like 100 yards away, just ninja pulling packs. How viable is fire with 2-piece? Let's see, what was the fire 2-piece? Oh, the 6%. So the thing that I'm seeing is that like that buff, the charred embers buff, I don't know if 10 seconds isn't long enough or what, but like, because you don't usually start your combustion with Phoenix Flames, right? So the 2-piece kind of lends to the idea that maybe you want to get the debuff up first, or else you're losing 6% on your initial opener, which for me is usually like Fireball, Cast Bust, and then Fire Blast, Pyro, Fire Blast, Pyro. So there's no Phoenix Flames in there because I'm stacking Feel the Burn up to 3. So I don't know, it just, again, the Frost 2-piece seems like it would lead to a more consistent damage buff, even in single target, because it's just a flat damage versus relying on part of your rotation. So Storm Infused seems to be the suggestion. Yeah, I think what's cool is it doesn't seem like Frost AoE is too much different from single target, aside from if you take the Kona Cold talent. But it's just very on 2+ targets, you want to make sure to Blizzard on cooldown. So you Orb, then Blizzard for Freezing Rain. And then just try to, like, my goal in AoE with as Frost is to try to cast Frost Nova within the within the 2 globals after, like Orb, then Blizzard, then Lance maybe, or then Frost Nova or Ice Nova trucks. But that's really the main, is like, and then when you have bigger packs and you're able to get multiple orbs out, shattering everything when you have like 3 orbs out and, you know, Blizzard's rolling and like all of that, that's where the damage starts. Or at least from what I remember when I've pushed as Frost, the damage starts really ramping up. What it says about fire. Oh, it's the same. So that's single target. And then I need that. I have a lot of farming to do. I gotta say, as cool as the crafting system was that they put in, I really don't like that I can't just go to the auction house and buy my thing to upgrade my ring. I find that a little annoying, but is what it is. All right. I kind of have a busy day ahead of me, so I'm going to wrap up office hours a little bit early. Does anybody have any questions or anything that you'd want me to cover? I'm kind of in research mode right now. Still figuring out, like, I was planning on doing a fire guide, but now with the recent changes, I'm thinking it's more likely going to be a frost guide, and I'm planning on kind of doing it. I'm planning on doing it on stream. but I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. I'll have a better idea as we get closer to the tier. But yeah, does anyone have any kind of final questions before I wrap up this episode of Office Hours? All right, cool. Yeah, new tier. I'm disappointed in the new tier. I had I used to think that Pyroclasm and SKB would be like SKB would be activated or Pyroclasm would be consumed by the instant pyros during hyperthermia. That wasn't the case. And then they changed it to a very confusing 4-piece that I really don't understand. So the fire tier, quite disappointed in the direction that it went. I don't really see how it made sense. The arcane tier, it seems like they're really focused on the damage outside of cooldowns, which is kind of strange. Frost tier though looks amazing. Just because of the quality of life change that it gives to Flurry in AoE, I think the Frost tier is going to be, or Frost in general is probably going to be the best spec. It's unless something drastic changes, but I just don't see the fire or arcane tier giving those specs nearly the consistent performance that the Frost tier is going to give. All right, cool. Thank you everyone for dropping by and hanging out. By the way, during progression and like once we get into 10.1, I'm probably going to be adding another day, possibly on Tuesdays, of office hours, and these will probably be a little more extended and when there's, you know, more to talk about and bosses to get into and stuff like that. But yeah, thanks for everyone for dropping by and hanging out. I hope you learned something and enjoyed, and I'll catch you next week.